I have made a huge mistake. 3 months ago on January 20th, I published a video titled Everything New or Coming Soon to Mobile, Alabama in 2025. But that video is a total misnomer now because I missed one of the biggest developments coming to our city this year. This project, which is expected to cost over $200 million, will transform travel to and from Mobile. Today, we're going to correct my error and I'm going to give you all the information on this incredible project. Welcome back. My name is David Beasley and I am your local realtor. If you're looking to move to Mobile or you currently live in Mobile and you're looking to buy or sell real estate, I would love to help you in that process. I make these videos to connect with you, so reach out to me anytime, day or night. I pride myself on being incredibly fast and responding to my clients and my customers, but not quite as fast as the new Amtrak system that's coming to Mobile, Alabama. Did you like that transition? So I can hear you asking in an eager voice through your screen, David, what exactly is this new Amtrak system? So back in 2005, there was a train station that went as far as New Orleans, Louisiana, all the way to Mobile, Alabama. Hurricane Katrina actually stopped this process. This train system had stops in places like Pascagoula, Gulfport, and Biloxi, and in 2025, we're bringing it back. This is a giant change in travel in the Deep South, and it will revolutionize our city for both visitors and locals. In the moments ahead, we're going to break down all the details so you know exactly what this means for our city. So this project is a little silly because so far, we don't even know what to call this thing. Historically, similar routes were called Gulf Course Limited and Sunset Limited. However, during planning, totally different names have been tossed around, such as Gulf Coast and the Mardi Gras service. We haven't had real confirmation on any name yet. I personally like the idea of calling it the Mardi Gras service because I would argue that this tradition is kind of what links these cities together. Another idea that I really like is you liking this video. This really helps me out by boosting my content in the YouTube algorithm, and it can help you by putting this video in a liked playlist that YouTube will automatically make for you. Now, it can be really confusing to understand why this whole train thing is really even important. So what are the benefits of it? There are 6 positives that I would like to address that this Amtrak will bring. The first benefit of this train is its practicality. As a local, I make frequent trips over to New Orleans, as do most Mobilians. New Orleans is bigger, they have totally different events, and often bigger name touring artists will visit their city. Now currently, if we go over to New Orleans, we have to drive, and it's totally reasonable to make this drive in a day. However, you're going to be dealing with gas prices and parking costs. The Amtrak ideally will make it possible for locals to travel to and from New Orleans without having to deal with frustrations like parking costs, the wear and tear on vehicles, and traffic. Additionally, I think it's worth noting that a lot of people drive to New Orleans for the bars. I'm not making any sort of ethical statement here. All I'm saying is that hopefully this train will make it safer for all drivers on I-10. Now don't get me wrong, there are some major downsides that connect to this point that I'm going to address later. However, if you can make the cost and the schedule work, this is a huge win for locals. The second benefit to the Amtrak is the economy. Our city is anticipating to see more tourism and visiting from other nearby cities because of this rail system. This will boost our local economy and ideally stimulate more business. The third benefit of this train is its emissions. Trains have a smaller carbon footprint per passenger than cars or planes do. Traveling in this way ideally will benefit our local environment. The fourth positive to the train is the traffic you're going to feel on I-10. Even if you never once step foot on the track, you're going to benefit from the number of people who are opting out of driving. This is going to lessen commute time for drivers and hopefully help with their fuel efficiency. The fifth benefit of this train is the scenic beauty. You get to kick back, relax, stretch your legs, and admire the beauty of southern Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. The sixth and final benefit is the train's expansion potential. More tracks can be added to this train to make travel from Mobile move further east into Florida, further west into a whole host of other options past New Orleans, or even potentially north. The sky really is the limit with this thing, and I'm excited to see where they go with it in the coming years. So let's talk minutia, let's talk details, let's talk specifics. To start, the cost. How much will it cost to ride the Amtrak? Well, we don't know yet. As of April of 2025, the final ticket price for the Amtrak going from Mobile to New Orleans has not actually been finalized. Officials have indicated that the fare details will be announced alongside the schedule, which is expected to be posted on Amtrak's website approximately 90 days before the service begins. We're fast approaching this 90-day mark, seeing as they're looking to start services this summer. In the meantime, representatives from the Southern Rail Commission have suggested looking at current ticket prices in similar markets for an estimate. For example, the distance between Mobile and Louisiana is really similar to the distance between Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. Now, current coach fares range from $11 to $68. These numbers are super vague, and they're only for reference, as we don't really know what the Mobile-New Orleans route is going to cost. So we don't know the ticket price, and we actually also aren't really sure on the commute times. Commute times can depend on a variety of things like weather, track conditions, and the number of stops. This track will cover 145 miles, and many sources state that it's going to travel at about 50 miles an hour on average. I've seen kind of conflicting statements on this, with some saying that the track will take as low as 2.5 hours and as much as 4.5 hours. I'm hoping that we get more information on these times soon, because these times are vastly different and they would make a huge difference on a traveler's decision on whether or not to take the train. Some amenities that we're anticipating include an onboard cafe for food and drink, Wi-Fi so you can get work done on the trip, and a bicycle accommodation from city to city. These are offered on nearly all other Amtraks, and there's no reason to think that it wouldn't also be offered on ours. There's also a variety of seating that's typically offered on these trains, from business to coach. Coach would be your more affordable option, while business seating would have maybe larger seats, complimentary food and beverages, and other amenities. Now, all of this is based on my research into other Amtrak systems, and it's kind of frustrating that we don't have confirmation on what ours is going to have. So let's talk about a couple of other frustrations and negatives I have regarding this Amtrak system. The first potential downside is its travel times. As I mentioned before, if this train takes 4.5 hours to commute its travelers, this could break the project before it even starts. Some more casual travelers might not mind the extra time, but most people are going to wonder why they would spend an extra hour and a half traveling from city to city. Again, these times aren't confirmed, but it's kind of a red flag for me. The second red flag I have regarding the project is the trip frequencies. Only 2 daily trips are planned, which could limit flexibility from travelers compared to driving and flying. If you visit a new city, it's going to be way more attractive to come and go as you like, rather than waiting on a train. Also, if you were to miss the train, you'd be stuck hours waiting for the next one to arrive. The third and final red flag I have regarding this project is what I mentioned before, and it's our lack of knowledge. This could be nothing to worry about, but it would make me a lot more confident in this project if I already knew ticket prices, commute times, and the amenities that are going to be offered on the train. If any of these things are less than ideal, it could throw off the whole project and shut down this train for good. So what does all this mean? How do we put a bow on this topic in a satisfying way that makes sense for you as a buyer moving to Mobile, or maybe a current resident? I have 2 words that perfectly embody all of what I'm feeling regarding this project, and they are cautious excitement. This project is cool, fresh, and neat, and it has the opportunity to connect New Orleans and Mobile in a way that hasn't been done in decades. However, there are a couple of loose ends that could totally unravel this whole thing. So I'm really excited, but I'm not fully sold yet. Hopefully this gave you a good idea of how our city is going to change and develop in 2025. I'm going to leave my video on other developments that we're anticipating this year in 2025 right here for you to check out. As always, I will see you there, or I'll see you next time.